What's up, YouTube? Zachary Michaels here. I'm an actor, and this is An Actor Reacts. And today we'll be talking about 365 Days, aka Beauty and the Beast for horny adults. Let's discuss. Now, if you're new to my channel, which everyone is because this is my first review, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and leave a comment below. And just in case anyone cares, we will be getting into spoilers in this review. Okay, so 365 Days is a Polish erotic film directed by Barbara Białowąs and Tomasz Mandes, based on the first novel of a trilogy written by Blanka Lipińska. The film follows Laura, played by Anna-Maria Sieklucka, as she falls victim to a dominant mafia boss, Massimo, played by Michele Morone, who imprisons her and gives her 1 year to fall in love with him. Now, if that premise just sounds completely ridiculous to you, that's because it is. But like I said in the intro, this really is just Beauty and the Beast for horny adults. Because it's like about a pretty girl who's imprisoned and enslaved by a scary man, and by the end of the movie, they fall in love. They even have a ball scene in both that's like right in the center of the movie, except in Beauty and the Beast, they do like a nice waltz, and in this one, they do a sexy tango. And admittedly, this one does have a lot more sex than Beauty and the Beast. Now, normally I probably wouldn't have even watched this movie, but I just kept seeing how terrible people were saying it was online. And since I was thinking about starting this channel, I thought this could be a fun first review to do. And I'm gonna be honest with y'all, I enjoyed this movie. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a terrible movie. But like, I went in expecting a terrible movie. So I was just able to truly like embrace how ridiculous it was. Like it's a truly ridiculous film. We'll get into it. So I'm gonna divide this review into the good moments and to the like what the F moments. And now, even though the movie like it could have better dialogue, it could have better character development, it could have a better plot, it does have some good elements that I found, and I'm going to be honest again, it does have more what the F moments than it does have good moments, but the good moments are there. Okay, so let's get into the good. So the most obvious good point in an erotic movie is the sex scenes. And honestly, like I said before, they did not put a lot of time and money into the plot or the dialogue or the characters, but they put a lot of time, money, and effort into those sex scenes. Like, there's literally a 10-minute sex scene. I don't know if it was exactly 10 minutes. It felt 10 minutes, though. I've never seen a sex scene that long. And I get it. That's supposed to be like their big moment, the first time they have sex, the first time that she gives in. But it was just real long. But that being said, though, like, they put a lot of effort and realism into those scenes. Like, that first sex scene, or I guess it wasn't even a sex scene, but he like gets a blowjob from the stewardess on the plane, and he's like super rough and stuff with her, and like at the end of the scene, she has like tears welling up in the corner of her eyes, and I was like, oh, like that's actually a nice realistic touch to put into the film after how rough he was with her. And I just wouldn't have thought that they would have even thought of that. They're just like, we just need sex. But they put a lot of realistic touches like that throughout the sex scene, so I was impressed by that. And the entire time I was watching the movie, though, I kept thinking like, oh my gosh, they could not make this right now. They could not make this in a post-corona world, you know? Because I'm sure that violates like all the rules that are being set up right now about filming during corona. But anyway, another good thing. Oh, the cast is attractive. Like, obviously, they need an attractive cast when like the movie is about sex over plot. Like, the cast at least has to be good to look at. And both Laura and Massimo are attractive people. Though I was confused when Laura went blonde. I was like looking down, taking notes, and then I looked back up and she was blonde. And I was like, I was confused trying to figure out which one was her then. But she's a very beautiful woman. And Massimo is an attractive man. And does anybody else think that he looks like Jacob Elordi from Euphoria? the entire movie, I kept like, at moments, I was just like, he looks a lot like Jacob. And the funny thing is that I could see Jacob's character, Nate, on Euphoria doing something like this in the future. Like, Jacob, or excuse me, Nate would easily in the future be like, he would kidnap a girl and tell her she has a year to fall in love with him. Like, I could totally see that happening in like a Where Are They Now 10 years from now, on based on Euphoria. Like, I see that in its future. Oh, and speaking of people looking like others, the woman who plays Laura's mom, she looked so much like that the blonde woman from Cinderella Story, the one who played like the evil stepmom. I think she was also in like Legally Blonde. She's been in a lot of movies. She's in a lot of comedies. She's like a funny blonde woman. You guys know who I'm talking about. But Laura's mom looks a lot like her. And for a second, I was like, "Is that her?" But I don't think she'd be in a movie like this. Oh, they spent money on the sex scenes and the like the visuals. Like, visually, I thought this movie was really nice. Like, as far as like the locations, like, Massimo's supposed to be this rich mafia boss living this lavish lifestyle, and I completely believe that. Like, every single location that they filmed in was like beautiful. That yacht on the sea was nice. The clubs, the houses, like literally every location was, I was just like, wow, this is really nice. So their money went into the locations and into the sex scenes. Oh, and then the music. Now, the music was cheesy as hell, but it worked. Like, I liked the cheesy music because this is a cheesy film. Like, usually in a film, if the music was this bad, I would be like, oh my gosh, it would take away from me. But in this, it just worked. It was choppy a few times, and there were some song placements that I was like, why is this here? Which we'll get into later, but for the most part, the music in the film worked for me. But yeah, other than that stuff, I think everything else is like, what the F is going on? So let's get into those moments. Okay, so I already mentioned that the sex scenes are what they spent the most time and effort on, which makes sense because this is an erotic film. They know their audience, and it obviously worked for them because, this movie was like #1 trending on Netflix for, I swear it was at least a month. And everybody's talking about this. Like, they did their job on that aspect, but there was some moments in the sex scenes that I was just confused. Like, the song that plays during that 10-minute sex scene, that their first time having sex, the first time she wants him, it just confused me because the song was Icy Red, and it was about a girlfriend killing her cheating boyfriend and just how angry she is that she's seeing red. Like, I why is that playing over the first time these characters have sex? Like, the beat, I thought the vibe of the song and the beat worked, but they couldn't have listened to the lyrics of the song because it just didn't make any sense with the scene that was happening. I was just so confused. And then also, like, good for them, 10-minute sex scene, but why was it so long? Why? Like, I literally, midway through, I thought it was over. And then, because it, like, they were having sex on the bed, and then it, like, cut to, like, a drone shot of the boat. And I was like, okay, this is a new scene. But then they zoom in, and it's like, oh no, they're just having sex on top of the boat now, and having sex here, and having sex here. And I was just like, okay, I get it. They're having sex. But, again, this is an erotic film. They know what their audience wants. It worked. So, whatever. But that blowjob scene on the plane where he's getting head from the seamstress, like, why was that in there? I was just so confused. Because, like, he's sleeping on the plane. He wakes up. He starts talking to his associate. And his associate's like, so our cocaine got stolen. And he just, like, doesn't say anything. And then he just, like, gets up, closes the curtain. And then he, like, makes the seamstress give him head. And I was just like, why? What is your motivation in this scene, sir? Like, I don't get it. But again, they know their audience. Their audience just wants to see sex. And then that random sex scene, like, after they're fighting, I mean, I get it. She's angry at him, so he, like, shuts her up by having sex with her. It just felt so random. And then afterwards, he was like, oh, so your plane leaves at 8 a.m. tomorrow? And she was just as confused as we were, because I was like, what? Her plane leaves? And he's like, yeah, don't you want to go visit your family? And I'm just like, okay, I get it. Just, maybe I'm thinking too deep into it, but things just felt so random in this film. Like, random things were just happening. But anyway, let's move on. His anger throughout the film, like, I kind of get it, because they kept saying, like, he's used to getting everything he wants. He's rich. He's the mafia boss. So he doesn't have to ask. He just gets it. But why was he so angry at her that she was just not bending to his will immediately? Like, sir, you kidnapped her. Why do you expect her to just be like, oh, okay, this is my life now? And he many times in the film, he kept talking about her disobedience. Like, again, you're holding her captive. I wouldn't even call that disobedience. That's like trying to protect herself from this crazy man who kidnapped her. Like, it didn't make sense. And then, why was he mad at what she was wearing to the club? I thought she looked really nice. Like, and I thought it made sense for, like, they're going to a nightclub. Shouldn't she, like, wear a nice little skimpy dress? Why was he mad at her? And then he got even more mad at her when, like, the rapey guy started being rapey towards her, even though Massimo's pretty rapey towards her. And it's like, one, this guy's just doing the same thing that you're doing, but I guess you, like, think of her as your property, so he can't be rapey towards her, only you can be rapey towards her. And then, like, he has to kill that man because he tries to rape her, and then he gets mad at her because she was wearing a skimpy dress. But it's like, sir, none of that would have happened. You wouldn't have had to kill him. He wouldn't have been rapey towards her if you wouldn't have kidnapped her. It just, again, I'm probably thinking way too deep for this movie, but, sir. And then, so, I was also, like, so, he chains her up, right? In the bedroom, once they get to, like, their new hotel or whatever. I was like, why does this guy just have chains so easily accessible all the time? Like, I get it, maybe he's into, like, kinky stuff or whatever, like, you do you, sir. But those chains at that bed, they tightened anytime she moved. That doesn't sound like just kinkiness to me. That sounds like he's just kidnapping women all the time and has to chain them up. And then he's like, I'm gonna show you what you're missing. And he has that other girl come in and give him a blowjob again. And, like, how is that showing her what she's missing? Like, one, she's already seen you naked, so she sees that. And then he, like, how is watching another woman give you head gonna make her want to love you? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. It just doesn't make sense. And then, like, he gets mad at her when she teases him in the shower, and then he goes and teases her in the next scene, and he's like, you have to earn this pleasure. I don't get it. And that leads me into, like, my biggest confusion in this film, my biggest, like, what the F moment. How or why did she fall in love with him? Like, what exactly did he do to make her fall in love with him? She's all like, I don't need 365 days because I love you. And I just laughed because it was like, how do you love him? Why do you love him? Like, I get maybe why you would want to have sex with him. Sure. Okay. But love him? You love him? And, like, her friend was the only sensible person in this film. She's like, you two have known each other for 2 months. How do you love him? How are you getting married to him? It's been 2 months. And then her friend was like, whether you're chained or not now, like, you're still a prisoner. Which I was like, yes, friend, speak that knowledge, because this is just great. This is Stockholm Syndrome. Like, you do not love him. You think you love him because he kidnapped you and forced you to love him. And he's like, at the beginning of the film, he was like, I'm not going to force you to do anything. If at the end of this year you don't love me, you can just go free, but I'm sure you're going to love me. How are you sure, sir? Like, all you do throughout the movie is manhandle this woman. Like, he never even tries to be nice to her. Oh, he does. He asks her to teach him to be gentle for her. But he's literally never gentle in this film. He just manhandles her the entire time. And anytime she's like, I don't want to, he's mad at her, and he's like, you're disobedience. I'm not used to this disobedience. But I won't make you do anything. And also, what is this guy's definition of not doing anything to her? He's feeling on her most of the movie. How is that not doing anything to her? Like, just because you're not having sex with her does not mean that you're not sexually assaulting her and harassing her 95% of this movie. And I don't get how she falls in love. He literally does nothing. He's mean to her the entire movie. And okay, he like kills the man that was about to rape her. But again, that man was just doing the same thing that he is. So he kills him, but then they get into an argument about that. And then she falls into the ocean and he saves her. He saves her again from something that he caused. And then she's just like, you're wet. You went and saved me. You're wet. Let's have sex. Like, what? This film is great. It's hilarious. It's a hilarious film. What else? Oh. Why is "Are you lost, baby girl" his catchphrase? I just found it creepy every time he said that. And I guess it made her swoon. But this movie, did I forget anything? He's so rough. He's very much forcing her. Oh, and then like he slaps her around so much in this film, but anytime she like swings on him, he's like, "You will not touch me." And I'm just like, sir, the double standards. And like I said, he manhandles her like every 3 seconds in this film. And he has the nerve to say, "I'm not the monster that you think I am." Sir, you very much so are the monster that she thinks you are, that I think you are, that you are. And, I can kind of get why he thinks he's in love with her. Like, he's apparently been obsessed with her for 5 years since he was, like, creeping on her 5 years ago. And then his dad dies. And then he's just been searching for her for 5 years. So I kind of get that. He has an image of her in his mind. And, but I don't see when or why she would have fallen in love with him. Again, want to have sex with him? Sure. Love with him? Getting married to him? Having his baby? That is going to be so hilarious when the baby gets older and it's like, so, how'd you and dad meet? Oh, he kidnapped me. Like, this movie is crazy. I think that's all I got. There's other stuff that I wrote, but like really just I don't understand the logic behind this film, except for that the logic is like great sex scenes, so horny soccer moms will want to watch. Although it was a lot more than horny soccer moms. Again, this was #1 trending on Netflix for at least a month, and everybody's talking about it. So what do you guys think about that ending? Do you think she's gonna die? I'm pretty sure she's not going to die because, like I said at the beginning, this movie was based on the first book of a trilogy. So I'm guessing that means that we're going to get at least 2 more of these films. And honestly, I probably will be there watching. Even if I don't review, I want to have a fun time and laugh at how ridiculous it all is. So now, let's rate this film. Okay, so this rating was hard for me to lock down just because this is my first review on my channel, so this kind of sets the standard for future reviews, but I decided to just kind of throw that out the window and rate this movie as like kind of a standalone thing because it's just too hard. It was bad, but it was enjoyable. So I give 365 Days a 5 out of 10. I felt like that accounted for it being bad and, you know, being enjoyable, so it's like right down the middle. I thought that was fair. So that's really all I got on 365 Days. Like, terrible movie, but enjoyable because of how bad it is. I definitely recommend this movie. If you're looking for a terrible movie to just have a good laugh at, definitely go watch this movie. If you're looking for a movie that has some quality sex scenes, definitely go watch this movie, because it has those. That's my review on 365 Days. Be sure to leave a comment below on your thoughts on the movie and my review. Give this video a thumbs up, share it with your friends and family, and make sure to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks for stopping by. See y'all next time.